At a prestigious university tucked into the heart of Boston, where ivy-covered buildings held some of the brightest minds in the world, there was a man named Thomas Emanuel. Most students didn't know his full name. To them, he was simply Mr. Thomas, the night janitor. He was quiet, polite, and always wore the same gray coveralls with a little stitched patch that said facilities. He pushed his cart through long hallways, emptied trash bins, mopped marble floors, and cleaned classrooms that echoed with laughter and ambition just hours before. But what no one knew, what not even the professors had guessed, was that Mr. Thomas was more than just a janitor. Much more. Thomas had come to America from Haiti many years ago. Back home, he was a high school science teacher with a love for tinkering. He had built radios out of scrap metal, powered light bulbs using potatoes, and once repaired an entire neighborhood's generator during a storm using nothing but leftover machine parts. But in America, credentials and language mattered more than raw talent. Without the right degree or fluent English, Thomas struggled to find work. So he took the only job he could get, cleaning the very classrooms he once dreamed of teaching in. Still, his mind never stopped working. Every night, after the students and professors had left, Thomas would clean until his shift was nearly over. Then, in a forgotten storage room at the back of the engineering building, he would take out his notebook, worn and held together with tape, and start drawing. Equations, blueprints, and electrical sketches filled every page. His hands, rough from years of cleaning, moved with the gentle precision of a master. On an old workbench left behind by a retired professor, Thomas had been building something for nearly 3 years. It was a small machine, not much larger than a toaster. It didn't look like much, just wires, gears, and a small screen. But what it did could change everything. It was a portable energy converter. It took in heat from the environment, sunlight, friction, even human body warmth, and converted it into stored electricity. It could charge phones, power lights, and eventually, Thomas believed, provide energy for entire homes in places without reliable power grids. He called it hope. Each night, he made tiny improvements. He tested circuits, rewired sensors, and jotted notes in the margins of his sketchbook. He used discarded lab parts and old wires that students had thrown away. No one ever came into that storage room. To the rest of the university, it was just a junk closet. One evening, a young engineering student named Maya stayed late to finish a project. She had forgotten her laptop charger and went back to the lab. As she walked past the storage room, she saw a soft blue light flickering inside. Curious, she peeked through the cracked door, and what she saw made her stop. There was Mr. Thomas, hunched over the table, goggles on his head, soldering a wire onto a small device. His hands moved carefully, with the kind of focus Maya had only seen from top engineers. For a moment, she thought she had walked into a secret professor's lab. She didn't say anything that night. But the next day, Maya couldn't stop thinking about it. Eventually, she returned to the room and waited until Thomas showed up for his shift. She didn't judge. She didn't laugh. She asked questions, real ones, and listened closely to everything Thomas said. That was the first time anyone had truly seen him. Over the next few weeks, Maya became Thomas's quiet partner. After her classes, she would join him in the storage room. She helped organize his notes, ran simulations on her laptop, and tested voltage outputs. She was amazed by the simplicity and brilliance of the design. It wasn't just a neat project. It was a real invention, something that could help communities across the world. One night, as they tested the machine under a heat lamp, the battery unit fully charged in under 4 minutes. It worked. For the first time, Thomas allowed himself to believe that this wasn't just a dream. It was real. Maya brought the idea to her professor. At first, he dismissed it until he saw it in action. Within days, word spread through the engineering department. Professors, students, and even industry professionals came to see the invention. There were meetings, presentations, and offers to develop it further. The university held a press conference calling it a revolutionary leap in sustainable energy. But the story that caught everyone's attention wasn't just the invention, it was the inventor. When people learned that the man behind the breakthrough was a Haitian immigrant janitor with no formal American degree, the media exploded. Interviews were requested. Articles were written. "The janitor who changed the world," one headline said. Thomas became an overnight symbol of untapped genius and hidden potential. At first, the attention overwhelmed him. He had spent so many years in the shadows, unseen and unheard. But with Maya's encouragement, he found his voice. He spoke softly but with conviction about the importance of opportunity, education, and believing in people beyond their job titles or appearances. The university offered him a scholarship to complete his degree, and several energy companies offered to fund his invention. But Thomas had one condition. It had to stay affordable and accessible for the people who needed it most. Families in villages like the one he had grown up in. In time, hope was developed into a full product and distributed to communities across the globe, rural areas in Africa, disaster zones in the Caribbean, and even low-income neighborhoods in the US, where power outages were common. One small device born in a dusty storage room was now changing lives. Thomas never stopped working. Even after the fame, he continued to clean the halls for a while. Not because he had to, but because he wanted to remind people that every role matters. Eventually, he became a lecturer at the university, teaching not just engineering, but resilience and humility. And in that same old storage room, now converted into a lab and named after him, a plaque on the wall read, "Great minds can be found in the most unexpected places." Moral of the story: true brilliance and potential can live in anyone, regardless of their job, background, or status. Often it's not opportunity that's missing, but recognition. Everyone deserves to be seen for who they are, not just what they do.